What if the most expensive mistake in this entire rebuild hasn't happened yet? Everyone thought the craziest moment was splitting a Bugatti Chiron in half inside a regular workshop. A car built by Bugatti, a brand famous for extreme precision, strict factory control, and engineering standards closer to aerospace than automotive, was taken apart outside its home in Molsheim. That alone changed the conversation. But here's what most people are missing. Taking apart a Bugatti is one thing. Putting it back together and making it strong enough to carry the Bugatti name again is something completely different, and we've now entered that stage. Before we go deeper, if you enjoy detailed rebuild breakdowns like this, take a second to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because from this point forward, every step of this project really matters. Right now, everything depends on one small but extremely important part: the engine-to-gearbox mounting bracket. It's a cast aluminium piece most people would never notice, but it's the exact component that forced the entire car to be split in the first place. One bracket, two of the most advanced mechanical systems ever built. Zero room for mistakes. This isn't an ordinary engine and gearbox setup. It's a quad-turbo W16 designed to handle enormous torque and extreme heat. Every mounting point in a Bugatti is carefully calculated. Every bolt location, every tolerance, every stress path exists for a reason. And now that responsibility sits in a workshop, not inside Bugatti's tightly controlled factory environment. That matters, because these cars are engineered to last 50, even 100 years. They are built so owners can actually drive them, not just store them. Service intervals are reasonable. Reliability is a priority. Development budgets for single components can run into tens of millions. That level of engineering depth is what this rebuild is now trying to match. The team has two options. Option 1, digitally rebuild the part. They've scanned the original bracket using high-end 3D scanning equipment. Every curve, every bolt hole, every surface has been captured and turned into a digital model. From there, CAD software allows refinement, not just copying, but improving. Weak areas can be strengthened. Material thickness can be adjusted. Stress concentrations can be reduced. In theory, they could create a version stronger than the original factory part. That's not just repair, that's redesign. But achieving factory-level reliability isn't as simple as pressing a button. Even with advanced manufacturing and 3D printed structural components, developing a critical part to this standard requires testing, validation, and serious engineering discipline. Option 2. Precision weld the original bracket. If the material allows it, a professional weld repair could restore the bracket's strength without redesigning it. But welding aluminium at this level is not basic fabrication work. It has to be flawless. Under the load of a W16 producing over 1,500 horsepower, even a microscopic weakness can grow over time. This isn't about whether it holds for a week. It's about whether it holds at 400 km/h. So this decision isn't about drama, it's about responsibility. Because once this Bugatti Chiron runs again, it won't just represent a successful rebuild. It will represent whether independent engineering can meet the same standards people expect from Bugatti. There's also another interesting layer. Some discussion suggests this mounting point may experience high stress over time. The area had been inspected before. That raises a simple question. Was this pure bad luck? Or is it one of the very few vulnerable points in an otherwise over-engineered machine? No accusations. Just curiosity about how even the most advanced engineering can face real-world pressure. Meanwhile, work hasn't stopped elsewhere. The rear frame has been removed again, the exhaust system has been taken off and scanned. A new custom exhaust is being developed, one that may finally give this Bugatti Chiron a stronger, more dramatic sound. Let's be honest, the factory sound is refined, controlled, almost restrained. But rebuilding a hypercar like this opens the door to adding more personality without compromising performance. Secondary catalytic converters may be removed while keeping primary systems intact, so the car still runs correctly. The goal isn't to change the identity of the car, it's to enhance it. And remember, only around 50 examples of this specific configuration exist. That makes every decision more significant. This isn't just any Bugatti Chiron, it's one of a very small group. Then there's the part many viewers overlook: logistics, radiators being repaired and shipped internationally, custom transport solutions being arranged, wheels being 3D scanned to ensure perfect brake clearance down to the millimeter. At this level, close enough doesn't exist. What's interesting is how the tone of this rebuild has evolved. At the beginning, it was shock. They split a Bugatti. Now it's precision. Can they rebuild it to Bugatti standards? The early stages were about disbelief. Now it's about discipline, sequencing, calibration, verification. The dramatic part is over. What remains is methodical execution. There's even discussion about keeping the car long-term, and that changes everything. When you plan to own a machine like this permanently, you don't think in viral moments, you think in years. You think about thermal cycles, repeated acceleration loads, sustained high-speed stability, and how materials behave after thousands of kilometers, not just the first drive. Because real engineering isn't proven when the engine fires up once. It's proven when it performs the same way again and again, without hidden weaknesses revealing themselves over time. And we're approaching the stage that will truly define this project: reassembly. This is where theory meets alignment. Wiring harnesses must connect without tension or routing errors. Control modules must communicate without fault codes. Sensors must deliver accurate data. Cooling circuits must bleed correctly to avoid pressure imbalances. Even slight variations in drivetrain positioning can introduce vibration that only appears under load. This phase is less visible, but far more critical. Carbon structure meets aluminium subframes. The engine and gearbox must sit perfectly within the chassis envelope. Mounting surfaces must distribute force exactly as intended. Torque sequences matter. Tightening order matters. Surface preparation matters. Taking it apart required confidence. Putting it back together requires restraint, because rushing this stage is where mistakes hide. One misalignment, one overlooked tolerance, one connector not fully seated, and the problem might not show immediately. It might appear under acceleration, under heat, under sustained stress. That's what makes this stage different. Now it's about validation. Initial startup will only be the beginning. Systems must be scanned, temperatures monitored, fluids checked under pressure. The car will need gradual load introduction, not full power instantly. Every unusual sound must be investigated. Every vibration must be understood. This is where patience replaces excitement. So the real question isn't just, will it start? It's this: will this Bugatti Chiron return to the road behaving exactly as a Bugatti should? Will the steering feel correct? Will the braking balance remain stable? Will the cooling system maintain consistency under stress? Will the drivetrain operate without micro-movements that compound over time? If the CNC machined bracket integrates seamlessly into the system, that's engineering maturity. If the welded solution performs flawlessly across long-term use, that's precision craftsmanship. But the true test is not one successful drive, it's sustained reliability. If reassembly and testing prove solid, it doesn't just complete a rebuild, it establishes credibility. Because hypercars operate at the edge of mechanical limits. Small imperfections that would be insignificant in normal vehicles can become amplified at extreme speed. This isn't about competition, it's about standards. And Bugatti's standards are defined by durability at the highest level of performance. So now I want to know, would you redesign the part and aim for structural improvement? Or would you preserve factory geometry and prioritize authenticity? If you've enjoyed this breakdown and want to follow every step as this rebuild moves toward full validation and road testing, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because from here on, every stage moves closer to the moment that truly matters: proof under pressure. This is no longer about taking a Bugatti apart. It's about demonstrating that it can return to the road with the same authority, stability, and confidence the name demands.